Hi guys, so I've got my Ferrari Fiorano new bright 40 megahertz, missing the battery cover. It works, but it's very short on range. Now that might be because I don't have the right transmitter to match it, or it might just be that it doesn't have very good range. And one thing I have found is because I tend to use cheap Poundland batteries, they don't get enough power. So I can either go out and buy some decent alkali batteries, and that might help, or I could try overpowering it, in this case using a couple of LiPo batteries, a 2S LiPo battery. Now at the moment it's got 6 volts, 4 AA batteries, so 4 times 1.5, 6 volts. When they're absolutely fresh there'll be a little bit more power than that, a little bit more voltage, but nominally 6 volts. If we want to go LiPo, LiPo is 3.7 volts, 7.4 volts, 11.1 volts. It's in stages of 3.7 volts. So 3.7 will be way underpowered for this, and 7.4 will probably be overpower, especially when you know that a freshly charged 7.4 volt battery, LiPo battery, is actually 8.2 volts. So we're going to go from expecting 6 volts here to sticking 8.2 volts into it, which may well just burn it up. But it only cost me £1.99, so we'll give it a go. And if we see the blue smoke, then we know we've overdone it. The two things that might burn out are the motor, but that will probably survive as long as I don't run it for too long. More likely it will be the chips on the receiver, particularly the power chips, I'll call them, the H-bridge, depending on what sort of H-bridge they've got in there. It's a little bit small, that screwdriver. That's a bit better. I do like this new bright Ferrari, simply because it's got a very lightweight body on it. Right, we'll have a look at the receiver. Right, I'm guessing, because I'm not going to bother trying to trace the wires out, but I'm guessing those 4 small transistors there, I'm calling them transistors, are the H-bridge for the steering motor, and those 4 larger ones there will be the ones for the drive motor, because they can carry a bit more power. Right, we'll just see if we can see the numbers on the chips. So that's the actual receiver chip. And then over here, those are what I'm calling the power transistors. So is that 8772 and DP80. So that's the drive motor H-bridge, and then these 4 I'm pretty confident will be the, those are the steering motor H-bridge, those 4, and these 4 will be the drive motor H-bridge. So if I'm going to stick potentially up to 8.4 volts through there, these are the ones that I would expect to go, simply because they're the ones that are driving the drive motor, and if we get any problem here with the drive motor overheating, if it shorts out, it will draw too much current through here. These might overheat and melt, or one of these is going to overheat. So it just depends what current they can carry. The receiver board itself is directly soldered to the battery box, so that big lump of solder there is a peg coming up from underneath where the battery box is, and so is that one. In fact, that must go off to the on-off switch somewhere. The on-off switch is these ones here. So power from there along this track around the outside through the on-off switch, and then it will be coming in through here. Right, so what I'm going to do is just connect to there and to there, in other words directly on the back of the battery contacts, with a JST connector, so we can plug in a LiPo battery. So it will still go through the on-off switch before it gets to the board. Quick check underneath, and the battery's actually labelled plus there and minus there, so that is the negative and that is the positive. So we should just be able to go straight on there like that, solder them on, and that'll be job done. What I will do is first of all I'll poke this through the existing holes here, so we'll be able to put the battery, the LiPo battery, in the battery box. So this means that we can still use ordinary AA batteries, but we can also now run it off a LiPo battery. This is the aerial. I just wonder if I can just put a bit of solder on the end of it, because it keeps catching on things. Now at the moment, with the controller that I want to use, forwards and reverse are reversed. So I could swap those conductors over. And do that if you can squeeze those bits of wire in with a pin. Or you could resolder them on the motor end, whichever way you prefer. I'll see if I can just swap them over on there. It's just a little metal plate flicks up, and if you can push it down out the way, there we go. So move that one over to the other side. That one over. I'm going to have to just lift that little peg up again so it grips properly. That's better. So now we've just reversed forwards and reverse. Right, so now just put back together. Now we want a LiPo battery.
Hey, thanks for watching. There's plenty of videos on my main channel with more added daily, so don't forget to subscribe and enable the notifications to keep you up to date with my new releases. You can help keep my channel running by donating $1 on Patreon to buy me coffee. You can always find more information in the video description. Thanks again for watching.